same spot earlier. Put yours in, quick.
Where's it going, Mom? Let's go, quick! Where's this small one?
First frame strike.
Where's it? Got you.
I'm going to do training back here. I'm going to do SBC.
Got it.
I have an idea. I'll be right back. If it's starting and I'm back, take give the other mic to Malachi and then shut it off.
Check to the UBA page. Check to the UBA page. Check to the UBA page.
Okay, final call for double side action. Final call.
normal for now. Go ahead and get on the mic.
All right. All right, what's going on, baby? This is the one and only voice of choice, Sean Facing, and I'm being joined by the brain himself, Mr. Malachi Moore. How you doing, sir?
How you doing, my brother? How you feel?
I feel ready. I feel hot and ready, and it's because it's hot in this building. We got Strictly Business Cartel final match versus who?
Trainwreck.
Choo Choo. And let's talk about who we got here on the scratch pair representing Trainwreck. We have Dan Kopp himself, Daniel Capola. We got Tom Panamayanko, and we got Eric Nilsson. Who do we got for Strictly Business
And
Cartel,
for Strictly
brother?
Business Cartel, we have Mr. Daquan Tyler, Mr. Anthony Winston Jr., and Mr. Kenneth Lowe Jr.
Yeah, it's ready to go. And you know what? Right now, from what you're seeing, if you're looking at what we're looking at a great start here to this scratch pair of things. Let's talk a little bit about SBC. SBC doing what they do, standing on strictly business.
That's right.
And they are a cartel all of their own. They took 36 points from Secret Society to get here. Trainwreck has been putting
34 to 6.
Yes, 34 to 6. And you know what? Trainwreck. They have been doing what they're doing. They've been running through competition, the likes of, and I know Nick Starwood hates when I say this, Murder Inc., as well as Exit Wounds.
That's right.
And a knockdown, drag-out affair against Mutiny. They got here, and they are here to prove a point that Trainwreck is here to wreck shop.
Well, we're going to say this here. SBC may have something to say about that.
A lot to say.
Yeah, so, I mean, they ran through a great team yesterday in Secret Society. Question is now, who's going to, this is for it all. So,
yeah.
No matter who you went to go through, you had to go through whatever you had to go through. Now it's down to go through these two teams to win it all.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you got to walk through the mud to get clean in the end. And let's see who was made it worth the trip through the muddy waters that was their entire season. And right now, they're looking for greener pastures, and I know he wish he would have had greener pastures, does Eric wish he did on that 7-10 lead.
Uh-oh. All right, so now the thing here is, no matter what, it's going to be who can make spares, who can string a string of strikes. On this end of Bowlerama, it's very hard to throw strikes. You cannot throw the ball hard. You have to throw it with a certain level of speed, as well as you have to maintain to make sure you follow through on your shot to make that ball go into the pocket.
Well, based on Anthony Winston Jr. shot, basically saying you got to throw it like that.
That's right. Give me a turkey.
Yeah, that's right. Hey,
Thanksgiving is early.
That's right. Gobble, gobble all over that. Kenny Lowe up. Do you like Lowe shot off the hand?
Yes, I do. He's looking much better than he did yesterday. Him as well as Mr. Anthony Winston. SBC is going to need these two gentlemen to perform outstandingly against Trainwreck in order to give themselves an opportunity to win this match.
Well, you liked it. He definitely loved it.
That's right.
And the situation is this so far. Anthony as well as Kenny right now doing their thing. They each got 3 in a row. And Daquan says, let me up in that party. Give me a plate.
Well, Daquan got to try to do it on both pairs. He's only seemed to do it on lane 13. He's going to make sure that he get it together on 14 in order to make sure that it gives his team an opportunity to pile on the wood. Right now, they're ahead of Trainwreck, but that doesn't mean anything. Trainwreck is used to being in dog fights.
Oh, yes, that's right. And they're trying to dog walk Trainwreck. But I don't think the dog is going to cooperate, and I don't think they want to be put on a leash. Does Trainwreck. And right now, even though Daquan Tyler is speaking Dutch, meaning that he's going strike, spare, or maybe the other way around, the other ones are speaking strikes. Let's see if he's going to keep talking the same language. And no.
Well, just keep in mind, this is not a give-me shot here. This is an unforgiving shot, so you have to play the shot correctly. If you throw your ball too fast, Dan Capala just got a strike there on lane 14. I think he felt like he got lucky that time. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, you know what? His name is Dan Cop for a reason, and you might as well call the cops the way he stole that strike. But you know what? Hey, no harm, no foul, no blood, no foul. Going back up at it? No, he's not.
Now, this is one of my things. This is one of my pet peeves in the match.
Talk about that.
One of the things that even when you get a split early in the match, it's always important to get the wood. And the reason why you want to get the wood because every pin counts. don't try to be a hero and get it in the beginning if you're not going to get at least close to the pin. You have to at least touch something.
Yeah, all pins matter in situations like this.
Exactly.
It could come down to you just getting that one stick.
Ooh, everybody throwing splits today. Like I said, this. Okay, let's talk about the shot right now.
Okay.
Before we go any further.
Well, you're the brain. I'll let you handle that.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, this is a shot that you really technically do not go past 5 on this shot because what have you'll end up leaving a ring and 10 pin like Mr. Kenneth Lowe did. This is a shot that you have to play tighter to the pocket, especially on this end.
Now, when you say 5, you're definitely talking about the first arrow.
Yes, the first arrow.
There you
is
go,
the 5
brother.
board. That is correct.
All right.
And so you go out there, you might as well guarantee that your ball is going to go past the head pin, and then you run the risk of leaving a split or leaving a ring and 10 pin.
Yes, exactly. When you sometimes risk can equal reward, but you don't want to risk it too much because a lot of times you try to run the table and the house usually always wins.
Exactly. Now this is how the brain would probably approach this. You either do a down and in shot, looking from, it's not exactly a down and shot. I would go from 12 down to 8 and let the ball come back into the pocket.
Indeed, indeed.
But you still got to keep the speed up.
Yeah, you definitely speed control. It's all about control. Control your shot, control the situation. And that shot looked a little bit out of control
By Mr.
Eric Nilsson.
Yes, sir.
And he got out of what would have been a very unfortunate situation. No split, hopefully no trouble on this 6-pin lead.
He don't want no trouble.
No, he don't want no trouble.
All right, let's see what happens because unfortunately, Mr. Anthony Winston Jr. had a split in the 4th frame, and behind him, Mr. Kenneth Lowe. This is going to be a momentum match here. Who can maintain that momentum? Who can contain their rhythm as well? SBC is very good, and when they get on fire, man, there's no putting out their fire.
Yeah, exactly. And even though the score right now says 210 on the side of Trainwreck, you have to factor in 4 strikes in a row. So that 210 is deceiving because Dan Kopp, as long as he keeps stringing them, and then the strikes get sporadic and not all together for SBC, he could keep them in this match.
Okay.
And as soon as I say it, man.
Please don't be like Mal Williams from yesterday.
Oh my goodness.
No, I'll say this much. Dan Kapala, to me, he had a couple of lucky strikes. So to me, he's not really locked in.
Right.
He's still got to pick this up. Still got to pick up the 10 pin. We in the playoffs, and as you know, a spare miss can be a huge thing at this point in time. Let's see what he does here.
Now, one thing about Kapala, very poised, kind of known through Jersey. He's bold on everything. He's bold on every shot imaginable. House shots, sports shots, and him throwing a lot of strikes is never a long shot.
Okay, let's see what Mr. Anthony Winston does. Can he answer the phone? And he almost got a 7-10 split. Did you see how his ball went deeper into the pocket? He got lucky that 7 pin got knocked down by an additional pin.
Yeah, you mentioned, and can he answer the phone and leaves a ringing 10 pin?
That's right.
Wow, how poetic, sir.
Tom Pacquiao. And he leaves a mother-in-law. So it looks like to me that Trainwreck on the scratch pair has not yet come to bowl yet, and they haven't locked in yet. If SBC can jump on them early, that can be meaningful in terms of total pins down the line.
Yes, it can. And like I said before, and I'll reiterate that statement, every pin matters.
That's right.
And good job all over the spare, wasn't it, for Anthony Winston? And we saw right there, he got frustrated when he left that split before and got nil and got nothing on that. You got to at least eat some of the crumbs that's on your plate because when you scrape your crumbs up, you might get a late night snack.
Now, I'm going to tell you something, Sean Dyke. No, what I was going to say was that I think that it's very important at this point in time that SBC decide that they want to make it a point to come back and start throwing a string of strikes. Okay, he got lucky.
Yes, he did.
Kenneth Lowe got lucky. He missed his mark from the very beginning as soon as he threw the ball.
He did. Yeah, we saw that. He missed it, didn't have the right speed. Great speed control there for Mr. Nilsson. That's right, EN saying that they're going to need ENS. and they're going to need some help if he finds the line and if he keeps doing it.
They're going to need a lot of help with a lot of energy here. Let me see, Mr.
Right there, we got Kenny Lowe looking for his
spare up. Daquan Tyler, if he throws a striker, he'll have a turkey. He can widen the lead for SBC on the scratch pair.
Yes, he can. I'm pretty sure that Trainwreck didn't want there to be any lead. Fortunately for them, the lead is not big. About, I want to say 20 to 30 pin difference. Daquan had a little footing issue in there.
That young fella done locked in.
Oh yeah.
He's leading, to me, he single-handedly is leading SBC to victory.
Yeah. You're right. He was almost the second 800 thrown.
That's right. That was thrown by Mr. Rajon McCray yesterday. He shot at 810, 817. And another ring pin for Daniel Kapala.
That's right, yeah.
Now, remember I was telling you that he didn't look comfortable throwing his first 3 strikes, first 4 strike. He got lucky on 2. So let's see what he does here. You know, this could be a game breaker right here.
One thing about those old school sluggers, they know how to keep the ball in play no matter what.
And Mr. Winston comes back with a strike. This is what a good leadoff bowler does. He sets the tone for the team automatically.
That's right. Tony. And obviously, it feels good. It feels good. Yeah.
I don't know. It looks like
top all over that 10 pin. Like I said, consummate old school slugger. Knows how to keep the ball in play, and he knows that every single mark matters.
And you don't want to keep doing that. You want to make sure you get your strikes in.
That's true.
Because
Go ahead, brother.
You need to set the table and gain your confidence as the match goes on. The train wreck is not going to be down forever.
Let's talk about the experience that they have in the scratch pair. Panabianco and Dan Kopp right here, Dan Coppola. Now, you get the older sluggers in there that have been here, action matches, tournaments, and everything. Now, even if they don't throw as much strikes as maybe they used to, and I'm not going to take anything away from them because at any moment they could flip that switch. They know the rules. Keep it in play just in case the young bulls might make a mistake. Sometimes piss and vinegar, can come back to bite you against experience.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to agree with you, but I'm also gonna don't calculate how humid it is in this room.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, it's gonna change. It's gonna cause changes on the lane. This is where experience come in at. And SBC has not been bothered by it at all, even with their youth. But also too, that can take its toll physically on a team. So the question is, who can weather the storm basically inside here? And it's going to get hotter as the crowd gets more and more involved.
Yes, and weathering the storm is big. And speaking of storm, they're looking to make sure that Lightning will strike twice, 2 days in a row. Two of these wins are 2 of the big wins, and it's all about who can win the big one. And this is the big one, the Kamar Wilder Cup.
And for both teams, it's very important that each team actually takes to the point to worry about their own lane. That's it.
Yes.
You don't want to be looking across to see what your teammates are doing on another lane, because if they're not doing well, that may affect your focus in terms of how you perform on the lane.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like yesterday, Secret Society on the scratch pair in the last game almost won their pair by 206. They came back and won totals on that pair. Imagine if everybody else had that same focus and level of communication.
One can only imagine. But it's humid in here, and they said focus on your lane, drink water, and mind your business. And you know what? That was strictly business right there.
That's
by
right.
Daquan Tyler.
Daquan Tyler, that young fella, he's trying to lead his team to victory. He says, I'm going to throw it on my shoulders. Let's go to work.
That's right. It's all about that work. Put in that work. And you know what? Hard work eventually will pay off for something good.
Let's see if Dan Kapala can answer the phone. Okay, he finally answered the phone. I thought he was playing no tap for a second.
But either way, no tap or all tap, either way he's tapped in. Because if you tapped in and you close frames, you can put yourself in a picture frame with the Wilder Cup.
That's correct, as long as you don't tap out.
No. Ain't no tapping out. And if you think you're going to tap out, reach for those ropes. Stay in the match. Anthony Winston Jr., tell us what he needs to do.
he needs to just continue to be consistent as he come out the ball. He has to keep his ball tight because he have a tendency to throw the ball outside 5, which makes his ball go long and give him splits. Yesterday, he had that problem yesterday. Look at that. Now this time, the adjustment that he made, he threw his ball slower than he did yesterday.
And how appropriate it was that you exhaled on that, because that looked like a breath of fresh air coming off his hand.
Yeah, it looked much better than what he did yesterday. Of course, time matches it, but Mr. Winston has a double. SBC has, on that strike there, have to double. They have to keep throwing strikes. Mr. Daquan Tyler is on a 4-bagger.
Yes, he is.
Mr. Winston's on 2, and unfortunately, Mr. Kenneth Lowe, he's playing no tap at the moment.
Yes, Daquan Tyler. Daquan Tyler's on a 270 pace.
I'm going to call him a 21-year-old phenom.
Phenom?
Oh, my goodness.
That was not the kind of phenom that they would have liked to see right there.
Mr. Eric Nielsen wish he had that back. Yeah. They don't want to keep getting too many opens and looking at it. Let's see what Mr. Kenneth Lowe does. But if he throws the strike here, that just, he went way out there too. He got lucky. That came back.
I mean, sometimes you take a walk on the block and you come back unscathed.
Yeah, but okay. We ain't going to look for that one too many times.
But let's talk about this 7-10. Now, yes, it's bad enough to 7-10, but contrary to what Anthony Winston did, he's actually going to get one.
Yes, he's going to, and that picking up a pin can mean something at the end. The totals in this playoffs year, the closest I've seen was 13 pins. That could be the difference of somebody not picking up their pin, somebody missing a spare, anything. So every pin counts. All right, let's see if Dan Kapala can double up here. I'm not feeling confident that he's going to be able to do that. I'm just being honest with you.
Well, I would never bet against Cop when it comes to pocket. Like I said, now that was a great shot. That had nothing to do with being a bad shot.
You know what? He threw it. It wasn't his regular shot. He looked like he was a little bit off balance. He got to the line too quickly. The ball went behind the hairpin and left the ringing 7 pin.
Well, like I said, he's and also what Ken Shaw, or Mike Shaw rather, said. Shout out to you, Mike. Hey, shout out to Ken Shaw too, even though I said the wrong name, but shout out to both Shaws. But neither here nor there. They mentioned that the future of the game is well in the hand with young bowlers like a Daquan Tyler, and he can make up for that bad balance. But Dan Kopp right there showing that the knees still work.
Well, hold on. Let's look at the way that he threw that ball. He looked like he was watching and say, Lord, please get that ball into the pocket.
Hey.
It did make it, but I'm just not confident that he's on top of his game just yet.
Well, I'm confident that prayer gets you somewhere, and
That's
prayer
true.
got him a strike.
You know I'm never going to knock prayers.
That's right.
I'm just praying we see an outstanding match like we are right now.
Well, I think our prayers are already answered in advance. You know, whenever you praise up, blessings come down. And I think as a matter of fact, I know that we're blessed to witness this. That's right. And that is strictly business cartel.
We got front row seats.
And speaking of front row seats, to anyone who's just joined us, once again, I'm the voice of choice, Sean Knight Faison, being joined by the man, the myth, the brain, Malachi Moore, here in Bowlerama, Newcastle, Delaware, Battle Bowl 2024, strictly business cartel versus Trainwreck.
Mr. Winston is locked in, sir. Yes. Did you see how he's coming through? He told me earlier, he said, Malachi, I was born for this. This is my match. I said, okay, sir, just don't bowl like you did yesterday.
Exactly. And speaking of yesterday, for those who are wondering, again, if you just got here, how they got here. Trainwreck taking 24 points away from Mutiny. SBC very close to delivering 40-0 against Secret Society. It was 36-4.
34-6.
I keep saying that. I said it 3 times. I say it a 3rd time. I'm going to play it. 34-6. Put some respect on Secret Society.
That's right.
Panama all over his 7-pin.
Now, let me ask you a question. You see how the 2 anchormen Kenneth Lowe has actually righted his ship. But looks like Mr. Eric Nielsen, or whatever his last name is, he's having difficulties. If you were on his team, what would you say to him at this point in time?
I would say stay the course. A lot of times people say either go faster. I say take a deep breath and slow yourself down, because a lot of times you slow yourself down, you can recalibrate and reacclimate.
And he has a ringing 10 pin.
Yes, he's pushing that, and
He
he's forcing
does,
it.
he does not seem to be comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. If you notice, he shook his hand a little bit on that.
Yeah.
He may be trying to force fingers. And when I say about
Explain
forcing,
that, sir.
indeed, when I say forcing fingers, you're trying to give the ball a little too much. You put a little pressure on those finger joints. When you are younger, you know that you have that power, but sometimes forcing that power, you can cause a little bit of issues with squeezing the ball and trying to hit the ball too much.
Okay, I get that. He's trying to get a bigger reaction on the back end. What you're saying, sir?
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm saying.
All right.
You know, shout out to the younger bowlers out there. That's not us anymore.
It's definitely not me.
You know, shout out to everybody that's out here checking things out. You know, shout out to future champions potentially here. Shout out to former champions such as myself, Malachi Moore. Oh, and who is this? Is that a hitter behind me? Hit squad, Josh Valdez?
I'm here. I'm came to check it out. My brother's bowling down there, the South champ.
Yeah, braided and getting faded out here?
Yeah, you know.
Hey.
I ain't bowling no events, but I came down here to support.
Well,
and I love coming here
Uh-huh.
because the energy is unmatched.
Fantastic.
The energy is unmatched in this building.
Oh, you already know.
And I'm glad that they put these matches on the Saturday.
Oh, no. But you know what? SBC is not glad, and Daquan is not glad about that 7 count. Only Grace in that, no Grace in that because he was on a spare. So that affects the count.
In my opinion, he's lined up too deep to the right. He needs to move a couple of boards left, and he'll see the shot better. He's forcing the shot because he's moving, he's drifting to his right.
Yeah.
What that's doing is that's making him slide or fall off to his left.
Uh-huh.
He needs to slow his feet down just a little bit and see the shot better.
Exactly.
Josh Valdez, you're a lefty. Would you agree with my analysis?
I agree. You cannot try to hook the ball in here. You cannot try to hook the ball. As on the left side, you need to be straighter in here.
Down and in, stay dialed in?
Down and in, stay dialed in. And you're going to strike all day as a lefty in here. You just see what Tom Biondo just did.
That's right.
He's playing the perfect shot.
I wouldn't use Tom as an example right now. He's not doing too
well. The shot he just threw, you missed. That was perfect for in here.
That was perfect.
That was perfect.
Oh, it is. And you know, he's always gonna go up the boards.
Pretty.
Yeah, you got to go up the boards in here.
It was so pretty.
It was pretty. It was very pretty. So pretty.
And Mr. Winston is back on another strike, and he got 4-bagger here.
AW trying to get AW
That's
for
right.
SBC.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Valdez.
Thank you.
I want you to know I bowl your brother next month.
You do?
Yeah.
He gonna whoop your ass.
Well, watch your mouth, son.
Shout out to the Valdez bloodline out here, and shout out to family. And both teams are like a family. And SBC making some noise. Shout out to these. Matter of fact, I'm gonna ask you this question: who has the stronger carpet crew?
SBC by far.
By far.
By far. But that don't mean that train wreck don't have no quiet. They having a problem.
And speaking of problem, let's see
if Mr. Kenneth Lowe can throw a strike here.
Let's see. He took a walk outside before.
Once again, he got lucky. I don't like that, but he's throwing that ball way too deep. That's going to cause a split at an inopportune time. He better hope he break these lanes down way before then. I'll be honest with you.
You know what happens when you go to the bank and you keep getting loans from the bank? After a while,
payday is coming.
You already know. And the taxation on that is crazy.
Oh, my goodness. Call interest. All right, now we're into the 10th frame on both sides. Mr. Daquan Tyler here. He moved a little bit more to his right. So he throws a strike. To his left. Yeah. He throws a strike. See what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. And he could be talking about potential 236 finish.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. He still got to go off the sheet now. This is not for the timid. Let's put it that way. No. And Dan Kapala is actually holding up his 2 other bowlers in this match, keeping at least close. The match is not close on the scratch pad, but he's trying to keep it close. Dan Kopp. If he throws a strike here, he'll knock the pin count down by 30.
Yep, Kopp up. And Kopp looking at potential, I'm going to say 258 rather. And you know what? Like I said, constant older pro will keep the ball in play. He will not force the pocket. He will negotiate the pocket.
And the young fella is throwing the strike too. So this match is not about age. It's about attrition and can you keep the ball where you need to be at.
And you know styles make fights.
That's right. And right now, SBC is throwing a haymaker and they're knocking them out.
Yes.
They're going to the body right now. You know what happens when you hit the body, right?
Yeah. The head will fall.
The head will fall. Let's go.
And you know, it's always great when you watch a boxer versus a puncher because you will get a contrast. You will see various things. Even though this is bowling, it is all about competition. Let's see how Cop competes here in this next shot. Pulls it inside a little bit.
I don't like that shot.
He didn't like it either.
He needs that. He needs every shot at this moment in time. He can go out on 257.
Yes.
But he's going to need to maintain to lead his team. Let's look at Daquan does his last shot, and he leads a range 7 pin.
Yes.
He goes out with 235. Not a leadoff, not a bad leadoff team when you have two guys behind you that's also bowling very well as well.
Yes.
The question now is, what can Trainwreck do on the scratch pair to get back in this match here?
Well, they need to keep their energy up, and that's if you're bowling and if you're not bowling.
Yes.
You need to let your bowlers know it's okay, we got your back, whether you don't throw at your best or not. And sometimes you got to get copper fit and put the battery in your teammates' back.
That's
no
right.
matter what.
And as well as try to talk with your teammate to get yourself back in the match.
Communication.
Hey, she can't do that when that. She blew that when he's getting ready to throw his ball. That's not cool. That is very distracting. That can be a distraction thing to do when a bowler is getting ready to bowl. That's a whole different level here of bowling when you deliberately blow it when someone's about to throw the ball.
That was unfortunate. Nonetheless, Anthony Winston Jr. did leave that 10 pin.
You can see that he's not too happy about that as well.
And you know, when things happen, you have to look at the negative and the positive. Negative, it happened when I threw a shot. I let the 10 pin. Not good. The good thing is it's not one game elimination. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And it could either bite them now or not bite them later.
And he misses that 10 pin. That's why something like that can be. It took his focus off. He didn't regroup. He should have stepped back and blew. Caught his breath, got refocused, and then do. So now karma is, you know what? And look what happens to time. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, they say karma's a species, and I want to say it's a female version of that species.
Yeah.
We will not say what it is.
We will not. But we won't even broach that.
But I'm not even going to itch to say it.
I love that.
but I know
when you do wrong to people, it comes back to you.
Well, but that's what they say. But we're going to focus on what's right, and he needs to get to the right side of the 3-pin, and he does not.
And time goes out with what? 188.
188.
To Mr. Winston's 221. So Mr. Winston still did the job. If you look at the match, it's still close in one way, but in a way it's not, because if Mr. Lowe throws a strike here, like he just did, they're widening their lead. Mr. Aaron Nielsen has to throw strikes just to keep his team at least within 100 sticks.
All right, Mr. Nielsen is trying to hop on some version of his namesake on the back of his jersey, trying to hop on that pony to victory. And let's see, I like that shot better out of his hand.
I don't.
Now, the reason why I like the roll off of his hand, it was good. Now he needs to adjust to the roll that he just figured out.
Okay, we're going to let you slide with that. I love you dearly, Sean Dyke. And Mr. Lowe throws another strike. He just put another 20 on there.
Oh, yes, he did.
What SBC wants to do is widen their lead to the point that when they get into the final round, you want to be up a lot of pay.
Indeed. And I'm being joined by the one and only Mr. Gordon Pepper. How are you, Mr. Stormman?
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? So as you can tell over here, this right now is looking a little bit one-sided, but
Slightly.
just a little bit. But speaking of one-sided, let's talk World Championship Series. North versus South, all 3 matches. North leads 2-0.
We the North?
We're the North. North is up 2-0 in all 3 of them.
Can you call what kind of match they are?
Ugly.
No. Who's bowling? What division?
We have welterweight, cruiserweight, and uncapped tag. And if you're the South, you probably don't want me to be continuing anytime in the near future. Back to you guys.
Woo, isn't that something? It's
Thank
that
you.
bad, huh? They said call the cops.
Well, we already got a cop on the lanes. Dan Cop.
Yeah, Dan can't throw the ball, though, for the anchor man. Looks like here Mr. Kenneth Lowe goes out with a 256. And Mr. Eric Nelson can go out with a 183.
Anthony, Anthony, is he good now?
Once again, if you just joined us, I'm the voice of choice, Sean Payson. We are here, myself, Gordon Pepper, and the man, myth, the brain, Malachi Moore, and we are here, Battle Bowl 2024, and witnessing the very finals of Battle Bowl season. Going for the Kamar Wilder Cup. You have Trainwreck again versus Strictly Business Cartel. So sorry. Strictly Business Cartel.
Looks like SBC has been on every pair right now.
Yeah,
They
SBC.
just won the handicap 2. Now they're about to start the second game.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens in here. I thought this match was going to be much closer than what it is right now. But right now, it looks like SBC is having a field day out here today.
Yeah, indeed they are. And like I was saying before, definitely Trainwreck versus Strictly Business Cartel. And we're witnessing handicap 2 on handicap pair number 2, representing, that's a little noise, representing Trainwreck. We have Chris Jermaine Jr., we have Carson. That's right, Carson here. And then Stephen Schenkenberger. Schenkenberger is in the building. What do we got for SBC?
And for SBC, we have Mr. Rajon McCray, Darnell Bell, and Mr. Daniel Bright. Same team as yesterday.
Huh. Did you say Bell?
Bell, rock the bell. That's
Oh
what
my
I
goodness,
said, sir.
the Bell blunt line of that DMV. If you're from the DMV and you're bowling, you don't know the name Bell, then you don't know bowling that well.
This would be outstanding win for SBC on so many levels. Right now, they're bowling outstanding. They won the first match 698 to 673. Now the question becomes, can they keep that up? It wasn't a lot of pin count that they beat them by, but they beat them anyway. So that means that the totals can be in play, but you can't let your foot off the gas.
Yes. And one thing we got to talk about, Chris Jermaine, Carson, and as well as Stephen himself. Carson, known to make big shots, big moments. Chris Jermaine yesterday against Mutiny, throwing that 300 there. They got hitters on all pairs.
But now they were up further on the lanes where the lanes were actually more forgiving for them. Down here, the lanes are not forgiving. You have to play the lane smart. Carson LaCoaches just throws the strike for her first ball in the frame. She met the challenge from Mr. Darnell Bell.
You know, Carson knows what she's doing on the lane, and you know what? If your last name is Bell, you know how to throw a ball too. Let's see Darnell Bell going up from the anchor spot, lane 17.
And he does. Daniel Bright just did that. So they're actually continuing on what they did in the first game. They're talking to each other and also striking.
Schenkenberger up on lane 18. Getting up there. Oh, very tight.
Now you see what he did? He didn't get the ball out far enough. You cannot, in the championship match, this stuff builds on itself. If you begin to have difficulty in the beginning of the second game, that can build pressure on yourself.
No, exactly. You definitely don't want to put pressure on, because we all know pressure busts pipes. You don't want to spring a leak, especially not in a situation.
Not in a situation like this. And you already lost the first game too?
Dan Bright. Let's see if the light is on. Shine a light on Mr. Bright.
And he does.
Oh, that was very close to that was very close to a 7-9.
Wow.
Trusty plastic ball. No movement on that. Picked up history 610.
Not saying that he's going to miss the 7 pins, but we never take any pins for granted.
No, we do not.
I've seen people have the 7 pin there and they go a wiffle ball right past it. And he picks it up with no problem.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the atmosphere. The energy is crazy in here. SBC's carpet crew and anybody else representing the DMV standing by their region. But anybody from Jersey or the North definitely doing their thing and making their voices heard as well.
Yeah, they're just not as loud. It seems like SBC came with their crew. They have people who will come here that's not on their team, but also rooting for them. I can't see how they from a crowd standpoint that they can be beat.
I mean, well, if Carpet Crew is points right now, SBC will be ahead on that as well. And if you're hearing that, you need to shift that. Rajon with a great shot there, Rajon McCray. And let's see what happens with Mr. Chris Jermaine. Let's see if Jermaine can channel his energy. J.
Jermaine
Cole
needs
here.
a strike here, and he does.
And that was a Jermaine with a cold strike right there.
Yes, Mr. Jermaine with the cold strike there. Yes,
That's
sir.
right. J. Cole, Cold World.
Mr. Darnell, man, he throws a strike. So they're answering they're meeting the challenge here. All they have to do is stay focused and continue to take this on. It's 3 games, unfortunately. I've seen people fall apart in the 3rd game and get back a totals lead. So you don't want to do, you just want to stay focused and make great shots.
Exactly. And I want to point to both teams not really wanting to shake the room, so to say. They're sticking with what brought them to this dance. I believe none of them really switched their lineups up.
There was no need. Carson
Mm-hmm.
Lukosius, once again, she's an outstanding bowler. To me, I believe that she could be the best bowler in the USBC. I mean, in UBA all together. She's an outstanding bowler. I think if she was on that list, it'd be very hard to take her off.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
No offense to any of the female Vixens champions out there. This young lady here is a true champion that's not on the list.
Daniel Bright.
That young man has a bright future. Just have to maintain his head. That's the only thing about young people. Sometimes they can lose their head in a match. Just have to remain focused.
Let's see if S2, Mr. Schenkenberger, SS, stepping up. And the same, you know what? I'll give him this. He threw 2 consistent shots. They were just not consistently good.
Yeah, they also, wow. His problem is that he missed his mark again, but he also slowing his ball up too far, too slow. He's not even trying to get it. If he had gotten it out somewhere near where he should have been, the ball would have easily broken to the pocket. But he's missed his mark every time. As an anchor man, you cannot afford that because you're putting more pressure on your leadoff man.
And you know what? It says Stiffy on the back of his jersey. And I'm not going to say anything funny about that, but I will say this.
I ain't touching that one.
But I will say this. He seems very stiff on those shots. He seems a little wind up tight. The one good thing about him is he's hitting whatever he's squared up with. So then he needs to change the angle of his body a little bit so he can open up because he is missing inside.
You trying to get...
No, not this time. I've grown.
No, man.
I've grown.
Yeah, okay.
No, I will not. I will not.
He's doing what? He's missing inside. What?
And Jermaine will not. And Jermaine will not
is
back
holding
down.
him up. That's right. Jermaine is. He's holding him up.
And let's see if Rajon.
Whoa! And he got lucky with that. He got real lucky because he looked like he was falling.
He went to go outside to check the temperature real quick.
Man, these young fellas, they look like they're a little upset right now. I don't know why, but something is on there. I don't know if it's approaches or what, but they're having issues with their footing.
I just want to say this. If somehow that ball would have fell in the ditch, you would have really heard some noise.
That's true.
You would have heard everybody tune up.
Here we go. Here we have Carson Lukosius going up for our third turkey, potential turkey. This young lady does not miss.
No.
She's very technically sound. I believe her father taught her. And when all I'm going to say is I would never want to bowl against her.
You know, many people don't want to see a lot of the people that are here. And if they do see them, they better show up or just leave.
That's true. It takes a special bowler in order to compete on this level.
Carson.
What I tell you, she's almost automatic.
You know, it's hard to run.
She has her game face on. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
She said, I'm not playing with you suckers.
No. But you know, and let's talk about that.
But now she needs to do something with her anchor man. Her anchor man is not following her lead. He seems like he's lost. He doesn't have a strike yet. You think Stiffy is going to find something?
Well, you know what? I feel if he keeps searching, he shall find.
You can't be searching the first 2 games now. It's almost in the middle of the second game.
Well, I like Mr. Schenkenberger to get minimum 225.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Let's see what he does here. I'm not seeing that today, okay?
I mean, you can still go sheet.
No, I'm saying I'm not seeing that. Would you say you saw him getting?
I see him getting Richard Nixon right there. And
And SBC come back with another strike.
Hey, you know what? And what does it do when you see a split throw before you throw? It relaxes you a lot more before you throw your shot.
It sure does. And as long as you don't pay attention to it, it won't affect you. The question right now is this. What's his last name again? Schenkenberger?
Schenkenberger.
Mr. Schenkenberger is having some real tough issues right now at the anchor spot. I'm not saying pull him out, but I'm saying that somebody has to say something to him to get him back on track. You can't have your anchor man, you the top two bowlers are doing a lot of work here to keep them in the game, and he's having a tough time. And once again, Mr. Daniel Bright throws another strike.
Yeah.
Now every bowler on SBC side in the fourth frame can actually get a turkey.
And you're right.
Or build on the same one, get a four-bagger.
Turkey representing 3 strikes. And speaking of 3, I'm going to mention 3D. Decisions, decisions, decisions. And you mentioned this before, having that conversation with your anchor bowler who is currently, well, let's say it, struggle. Even though struggle was character, you don't want to see that struggle happen now.
Yeah, you don't need that right now.
Yeah. And the decision you got to make: do I try to really pull him out of the waters, or do I keep swimming and do I let him know I got something waiting for him when he shows up?
Exactly.
Big decisions to be made there.
The other thing is you have to say to yourself: is he open to constructive criticism or advice? Sometimes bowlers are not always open to advice, and that can be a problem.
Very true. Well, if he doesn't remain open, he is definitely going to keep the door wide open for the opponents to run away with this one and drive home with the Wilder Cup.
Yes, open to advice.
Yeah, speaking of open, if you just open your screens, once again, I'm the voice of choice, Sean Knight Facing, being joined by the man, myth, the brain himself, Malachi Moore, here at Battle Bowl 2024, and we're witnessing Strictly Business Cartel against Train Wreck in the finals, here competing for the Kamar Wilder Cup, RIP Kamar.
Yes, and it looks like here Strictly Business it's all about their business. They want to take this cup home. Daniel Bell throws another strike. He has a 4-bagger. Let's see if Carson Lukosius can keep her team in the match. And she throws another strike. She throws a 4-bagger as well.
Yeah.
This is outstanding, man. This is outstanding bowling. It's a shame that their anchor man is on another island right now.
Yeah.
Maybe he needs to phone a friend to get a clue.
There you go. Or it's going to be good night who?
Irene.
There you go. And you know what? I'm going to call her CK for Comfortable Carson because she's looking extremely comfy. You know what? I want to say this. You can either let the moment get to you or you can go for the moment. Carson's trying to go for the moment. Leadoff bowler is trying to go for the moment. It's Chris Germain. Now the moment, and who needs to really grab this opportunity and shape it up now, is my man Schenkenberger.
That's right. Mr. Schenkenberger has to get back on track. And Mr. Daniel Bright just he didn't let him back in, but he's going to leave a spare here.
Yeah.
Mr. Schenkenberger has to get back on track. I don't care at this point. He has to at least get a spare.
Yeah.
He needs a strike, but he really has to at least get a spare to get back in this match. He's hurting his team.
Yeah. Him leaving that 7 count doesn't all the way change the conversation, but it shifts the subject. Yeah. And I still stand by what I said, minimum 225, because I stand by what I say.
Okay.
I'm used to being counted out.
You want to bet 5 on that?
You know, bet good, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir.
And sign it, too.
Oh, you definitely going to sign it.
Shout out to everybody with the bet window open on this match. I'm pretty sure you're watching.
Yes, because this is a blowout right now. SBC is handling business. Let's put it that way.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Rajon McCray,
yes,
again with another strike. He has a 4-bagger.
Yeah, we're going to call him Ray Mack.
Oh, my goodness.
And that ball returned just like a Mack does.
Germain can actually answer the phone here. They have to keep their team in the match. Okay, he does. You don't want to fall behind. It's okay to be losing, but you don't want to fall too far behind where you can't climb back into the match if the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, it's all about opportunity.
Yes.
And it's all about the opposition. Darnell up.
And he gets a strike. I didn't like that ball at first, but it came back into the pocket and did something.
Well, you don't poke the bell, and unless you want a problem, you don't ring the bell. But when the bell rings, if your last name is Bell, you know what time it is.
That's right. He says, school is in, son.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, I'm going to say this here. Carson Lukosius is keeping her and the leadoff man is keeping her teammates, and she keeps throwing strikes. Look at her. She's locked in. Look at that face of intensity. She is not playing. She don't care what the score is. She's trying to win this match here.
Similar to Dan Cobb, who has experience on all kind of shots. You know, her youth as well as her poise makes her built for war. Let's see what Dan Bright's going to do.
And Mr. Bright answers the phone, too. He's back on his strike game.
Back on his striking-ish, if you will.
Yes. But each time, let's remember, each time SBC throws strikes, they're adding 30 to their score. All right? So now what happens is going to be first who stops throwing strikes. Let's see if Mr. Schrinkenberger, oh my goodness.
All right, so do you want it in cursive?
He
How do you want me to sign that file?
I'm just, you just hold on to it, son. We'll see that after the match, okay?
Hey, I'll get you a biggie bag, bro.
Yeah, here you go. I tried to help you out, man, but you didn't want to listen.
Hey, you know what? Yeah,
they call me the brain for a reason.
Yeah, you're right. And you know what? Sometimes maybe I should use mine a little better. and you know what? Let's talk about listening. And you mentioned that communication. Are they saying anything to Schenkenberger, to Stefan, and is Stefan listening
right
to
now,
it?
if you look at his face, he is fully frustrated right now.
Yeah.
He's not happy with it. That time he did throw a decent ball. I'm not gonna say he put too much. He just doesn't feel comfortable. He's not finishing the shot. He's just trying to force the shot. You can't do that in a championship match.
Now, let's talk about the mirror images, the identical nature of both Chris Germain and Rajon McCray, of Karsten as well as Darnell Bell. It's all coming down to the anchors at this point.
Yes. Everybody's doing their job except for the anchor man.
Well, it's not about how you start, it's how you finish.
It's how you finish.
But you gotta hope that your anchor matches your struggle.
That's right. Because guess what? Everybody at the top, the leadoff man and the middle man are definitely doing their job. They're throwing nothing but strikes. They're matching everybody's energy. They're matching each strike that the other person does. So now it's just gonna see who's gonna blink. And right now, I don't see either one of them blink. Both of them are locked in. All four bowlers are locked in at this point. Mr. McCray has 5 in a row. Mr. Darnell Bell could go for 6 in a row. So can Carson LaCroix. She has the opportunity. She's up first. Let's see if she gets to 6 in a row.
Yes. Let's see what happens
She
here.
needs to maintain strikes, and she does. This is a great matchup.
And like I said, identical nature. Darnell Bell is on front.
She is not playing. She looks like this. This is my match.
Chris Germain as well as Rajon, potential 290. Darnell Bell still searching for trade.
Woo! This is great. They said, I'm matching it with you. You know, it helps to release some of that energy after you throw the ball when you start to tap each other's hand, things of that nature.
Now, stall tactics. Let's talk about stall tactics.
Okay.
For those,
remember we talked about this yesterday.
Yeah, that pin is in the gutter. What do? Do you leave it or do you get rid of it? I say get rid of it.
I say leave it, throw your ball, and let the other team get out the gutter. Don't break your rhythm at all.
Oh, you know what? Two sides of the coin. Either way, let's see how it flips. That ball's got to flip.
Okay, he finally got his second strike in the 6th frame, so that's good for Mr. Stiffy.
I'm over here trying to do math. And this is exactly what I mentioned.
Whoa. Let's be fair. Mr. Daniel Bright hasn't been throwing a lot of strikes tonight. He's been throwing spares. Now, you're saying that because he has the 10 pin left and he could potentially hit that thing, but the way he throws his ball doesn't go near the 10.
This is true, and we all know about potential. Where there's potential success, there's potential chances for anything to happen out of the norm.
He should be fine. That's not even be a jinxer, okay?
I'm not going to be a jinxer.
All right, please be quiet, sir.
All right, well, we'll tell SBC that. I dare you. I double dare you.
I'm watch your mouth.
Let's see right there. Let's see how he attacks.
Mr. Bright, see if he can shine some light on the situation. And it's good. It was close, but it was good. It didn't touch nothing.
It didn't touch nothing. Even the slightest of a massage to that pin in the gutter would have resulted in a dash.
Now, Trainwreck has to deal with that. Would you remove that now?
Yes, absolutely. I would remove it now. I would slow the pace down because right now you're dealing with a team that loves this pace. They love this energy. They love the game. They love the hustle. And speaking of hustles, let's say the hustles to the pocket.
And Mr. McCray throws another strike. That's 6 in a row for Mr. McCray.
That's
That's
6 in a row
for Mr. McCray. That'd be 7 on the 300 pace for Mr. Darnell Bell if he does throw a strike here.
Yeah.
Right now, let's see if Mr. Jermaine can actually throw a strike here.
Rest my head on it. Now, but let's see what here. Chris Jermaine up.
And he throws another strike. Everybody's locked in.
Yeah, 290 up top.
You will not be able to say that they didn't come to bowl.
No, they're not. That ball's got to hurry.
Ooh, out of trouble.
Out of trouble.
He almost left a 7-10 split,
Damn sure
which
did.
could have been catastrophic.
Yes.
Now he's going to need his anchor man, Mr. Daniel Bright, to start throwing strikes. This is why it's important that your anchor man get right and he starts throwing strikes.
Yeah.
Even though he's beating his man across from him, it doesn't mean anything because the momentum can shift at any time in a big match like this. Now instead of 2 people on 3 in a row, at least, now let's see Carson Lakosha does. And she throws a strike. She's locked in. This young lady is good enough to throw a 300 in this match right here.
And you know what? You know what? Sometimes you need your clutches made out of adamantium metal. And right now, I want to say that Chris Jermaine and Carson are being amazing crutches. And let's see how Stefan Schenkenberger uses said crutches that are his leadoff.
Mr. Schenkenberger is going to need to throw another strike right
and
here.
You know what? His middle bowler and his leadoff bowler doing a great thing. You know, not all anchors are from the bottom.
That's true. Now the question is, can Mr. Schenkenberger double up here and gain his confidence back? Because it looks like to me Mr. Daniel Bright is not really locked into the match. He seemed like it earlier, but now he's getting too many spares. And once again, Mr. Schenkenberger throws a strike here. He's on a double.
Look at him fighting for my 5.
All right. Nah, you ain't getting at this game. You wishful thinking. You know that song? I'm wishing on a star.
Yeah, 232 finish potentially for him.
Whatever. And Mr. Bright answered the phone there.
Yes, he did.
Now it's going to go down to who can strike out the rest of the way. It's going to go down to who can strike out the rest of the way. Even though SBC on this pair is up, anything can happen. Just like Mr. Darnell Bell left a ringing 10-pin. He didn't throw it. We knew it from the way that he threw that ball off his hand.
Yeah,
so you've got to get back on track. You can't fall down on the job here. To me, this is one of the better pairs, even from yesterday, for both teams.
Yes.
This is both best pair on both squads. So now let's see what happens here. Oh, Mr. Craig keeps that train going. He has 7 in a row.
Yeah, he's searching for that 90.
Yes, he does. Let's see if he look.
30 in the stash, 30 in the case. Somebody about to have it. I don't know who, but it's UBA.
Let's see if Mr. Jermaine can get this shot in. Uh-oh. So now that's 2 down. Remember, there was Mr. Darnell Bell had what, 6 in a row, and then he left a ringing 10-pin.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Jermaine, he's off his strike string. Anything can happen last couple of frames here.
Yeah, you know what? And that goes from 290 now to potential 279 for Chris Jermaine.
Well, he's still throwing a good matchup here, so I'm not going to poo-poo on his effort.
No.
Against SBC, you can't make too many mistakes. You have to come to ball.
Now, I mentioned this before. We had a conversation earlier, and I said no matter who wins, it's going to be 24 to 16.
You mentioned that before, and I said it was going to be, what, 28 to 12. That's what I'm saying, sir. Want to bet 5 on that, too?
You know what? Let it ride.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I'm saying 28-12 SBC, by the way.
I'm not betting on any particular individual.
You don't have to. No.
I'm calling what I'm calling in terms of numbers. And we got and people are saying certain numbers. Let's see if those numbers come to fruition.
And a ring 10-pin.
Yeah,
so unfortunately,
that pin rolled out, and it counts. That counts. Well, the rack hit the pin knocked down the 10-pin, and we are going to get an official ruling. What happened? The pin made contact with the other pin before the rack came down. It did not get swept. It did.
They're going to have to do a replay on that.
And we're getting a ruling here from Jason Hale.
They're going to have to get a ruling on that.
We're going to get a ruling on that.
Close.
And I'm not going to make any official call.
This match is so close, you cannot afford to have a mistake to occur.
And the score is being adjusted. And I believe, yes, that does count because it is the pin that made contact with the 10 pin.
Video right there.
It did, and it did not get swept.
Oh no, it didn't get swept. But the thing, they're saying that the machine knocked it down. That's what SBC is contending.
Well, we're gonna see what's gonna happen here. And speaking of happening, and yes, it is ruled as a strike, as the pin itself rolled and made contact with the pin without any assistance. Only thing that happened is it bounced off the machine.
If it came down at the same time, that could be reviewed on the camera since this is being broadcast.
And nonetheless, it works in the favor of Carson, and it keeps the dog in the fight.
That's true. Now, with that being the case, sometimes you can have a lot of excitement, and a person who's up next to Bo can lose their focus. The question becomes, will they be able to get back? Will Mr. What's his name again?
Schenkenberger.
Mr. Schenkenberger throw a strike here. He needs to throw a strike here to at least keep pace and try to bring Trainwreck back into the lead.
You know, it's been raining all weekend, and it's also raining now strikes on a couple of these pairs.
The only thing I don't understand is why is it that Darnell Bell is taking forever to get up there to bowl? Whenever you see the person got finished bowling, get back up there and bowl. Maintain your rhythm. You're breaking your team's rhythm. You don't do that.
Well, let's see if that's a mistake, and let's see if it's a misstep. And you know what? I still like my 5, sir.
Well, your 5, trust me, he gonna mess up.
I don't know.
Okay, you keep knowing then.
All I know was 232 out the door.
Yeah, he still got 4 shots.
He damn right he got 4 shots.
I don't think he's gonna be able to do it. All right.
I'm gonna be buying shots with your 5.
Oh boy.
And you know what? That's why you're the brain, sir.
He didn't throw nothing on there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He should have kept it. He should have jumped right back up there.
Yeah.
SBC on this pair was not up by a lot, and now with the fortune of Carson Lukosius and now Mr. Steffenberger have tripled, they're actually going to help pull the lead back up.
I like what you did with his name there. You combined his first and his last name, Steffenberger.
Okay,
I like that.
Okay, whatever. You know his name.
But I like what you did. It's Steffenberger. It sounds good.
Mr. Steffenberger.
Put it on a shirt.
Yeah,
Ship it.
Okay.
What up, Viv? Well, speaking of shipping it, let's see who's going to shape up or ship out when it comes to this match.
With Mr. Steffenberger and Carson Lukosius throwing strikes, it's very important for McCray to actually come back here and throw a strike just to keep his team in the match on this pair. They won the first pair, but they didn't win it by much. So now it's going to be a matter of who.
Well, they actually, it's close to even. If you look at the numbers.
No, even if you look at the numbers, I'm looking at who's on the trio. What did they throw last going into the 9th frame? That makes a difference because now you're going to start seeing the lead for a Trainwreck on this pair go a little bit further ahead.
Well, it's definitely a shift that's definitely happening. And it's happening in the favor, honestly, of Trainwreck over here.
Actually, I may have to be corrected. I think Trainwreck won the first game. Oh, my goodness.
It's not about the start.
It's about how you finish.
There you go.
And that's an untimely, unforced error that can be very costly, as we can see. And,
shoot. You know what? And some of the crowd here mentioning that you should bury it, meaning that you jump on something when you see something. And if you see something, you got to do something.
That's right. Now the question is, will he chop it? 9 times out of 10, he should pick that up, unless he throws the ball in such a way where it whiffs.
Didn't play hero ball there. Got to respect that.
Yeah, that's right. I probably would have tried to play hero ball only because it's the end of that. It's almost the end of that game.
But that's a slash versus that dash. And it wasn't necessarily a dash. He still got something.
That's true.
she ain't minute. Beat for the 300. Beat.
Shout out over here to my man Kyle Jenkins representing Dead Flush.
Old 10. Old 10 for the win.
Yeah, that's right.
Make sure y'all there.
I would like it for 300.
Oh, and that 7 count right there on the spare.
There's a lot of haterade coming from the crowd for Carson LaCoach. They don't want her to get her 300. That young lady is locked in. She locked in. She don't care about nothing else. She's a fundamentally sound bowler.
Look at it. I'm looking. You know I'm looking. Look at it. Beat.
And yeah, she got a loan from the bank from that last one, and she's making good on that loan. She's making good on that loan.
She is building her legacy in the UBA clearly. She's building her legacy here in the UBA clearly. She is locked in.
And Darnell Bell all over that spare right there.
I got to be able to see. Okay, I have to be able to see. I want to keep getting in front of people. We get a better look over here. Fam, can you move over something? I'm gonna move back just a little bit.
No, she gonna do what she do. And speaking of doing what they do, Schenkenberger.
Schenkenberger
on the road to 232.
Yes, sir. Whatever. We're going. I know you're smiling, but that ain't over yet, baby.
And Daniel Bright, trying to find the bright side and the right side of the pocket.
At this moment, he's trying to keep his team in the match.
You're right.
They're not that far behind, but he has to keep his team in the match. Like I said, anything can happen. He throws a strike there. He's answering the call. Even though you got Carson, the coach, and Mr. Schenkenberger striking, that don't mean they're going to strike in the 10th frame. It's anybody's game at this moment in time. And if Mr. Jermaine throws a strike here,
it could be that little shift.
He can go out with a 256. Okay, that's the first ball by Mr. Raekwon McCray. He can go out with, let me see here.
255.
250. Yeah, 255. You're correct. So this is a close matchup. This is no give me. Oh, ring is 7 pin. What'd I say? Nothing is a give me.
Yeah, right there, leaving the 4 pin right there, and looking like potential 245.
245.
And let's see if he's going to give him that 10 pin stretch.
And he could drink a Coke 45.
There you go.
Let's see here. Mr. McCray has to throw another strike here just to give his team a chance to win the game. And he throws another strike. He's a big ball bowler.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you something. Big players do big things. And this match right now, neck and neck, to say the least.
The thing that I like about him is that he wasn't fazed by the split that he threw earlier tonight.
Oh, yeah.
He stayed focused. He was on a, 280 pace earlier? He can still go out with a 255.
Yes, indeed he can. And I say yes to the 255. Let's see what he says.
Nope, he didn't answer that one.
Oh, 252 rather.
He didn't follow through. He left his hand down. Yeah. He didn't follow through all the way. Got him a 7 count. Still bowled very well.
Have a little conversation.
And they might be talking to him about the way that he started. He started way over to his right. Yeah. He had to make,
We got a 4 count. A 4 count. What is that?
A 4 count.
He shot 4.
He went 4.
He could have went out if he had struck with a 245. Now he goes out with 239. Every pin counts here. Miss Darnell Bell's back on it. Let's see what Carson LaCoach does here. She has her game face on. I'm expecting her to do a 300, to be honest with you. Now, I knew we were in something great when I found out that she was on this team.
Yes. You know, witnessing greatness against greatness. The great Bell name, as I mentioned before, in that DMV area. If you know the name Bell, you know the bowling game well. Karsten going up. Let's see what she's going to do here.
Ringing 10 pin. Ooh, ringing 10 pin. That could be costly if Mr. Darnell Bell strikes out. and then it's going to be down to the 2 anchor men.
Yes, it
This
is.
is going to be really, really interesting. He throws another strike. That gives SBC an opportunity to bowl even more, to win this game, to win this match. It gives them an opportunity to breathe, but Ms. Darnell Bell has to throw a strike here. And he leaves a ring 10. It's funny how the horn goes off to the train when they see that their teammates is about to win. And that's, I mean, it's about the other team is about to throw a ball. I'm not saying anything, but I'm saying it.
One thing I know is Carson was all over her 10 pin. Let's see if Mr. Bell can do his thing. And we already know what Bell brings to the table. You know, he's been here before. Never scared of any kind of moment. It says the Prez on the back of his jersey. He is the president of this franchise.
Every time y'all throw a shot over here.
Darnell Bell picking up his 10 pin, going out with a great game himself. Carson with a 279.
279, great game.
Darnell Bell 244.
It's mysterious how that horn goes off when SBC is about to throw a important shot, though. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised if I heard it one more time that Mr. Daniel Bright is about to go up there to bowl. I'm not sure. You let me know.
All I know is we got the train horn versus the bull horn. It's all about whose horn is out here, like, just almost like, you know, 2 Reynolds going head to head. Who's got the stronger horn?
And just so everybody knows, distractions are welcome in the UBA. If you can gain an advantage, why not?
Well, let's see who's going to get the advantage here on this next shot. It all comes down to the anchors.
Mr. Daniel Bright with his ball, he threw it light. He didn't throw it with any authority at all. The ball came up hooked early on him. He didn't get it out there, and he threw it weak.
We could be witnessing some sort of walk down happening.
SBC could be down 2-0 in the first 2 games on the second team handicap. Oh my goodness! Are you kidding me? Let's see if Daniel Bright can pick this up. He picked this up. They win this game here.
Yeah, so these are must-have conversions.
What a shot. What a shot. I don't care what happened. That was a good try.
He needed to convert the 3, 4,
He
6,
sure
7.
did. It danced all around that 7 pin, but didn't come back.
And no need for the conversion there in a nail biter. It looks like Trainwreck got away, and they found a way to win that game.
They found a way to win the game. They're up 2-0, but the totals is close. And if SBC can come back and still, if they go on a major run this last game, they can actually win the match. They can win that pair, 6-4.
Let's take a little trip. We're going to take a trip over to see what one of the other pairs are doing. If you're just joining, if you just got off of work, if you just, had a little time to finally check something out. I am the voice of choice, Sean Knight Facing, being joined by the man, the myth, the brain, Malachi Moore. We are here at Bowlerama. Battle Bowl 2024, Strictly Business Cartel against Trainwreck, finals of the Kamal Wilder Cup here at Battle Bowl 2024.
One finishes, then we'll cover handicap over the top.
Yeah. And you know what? We just finished checking out handicap 2. Scratch is about to start up their 3rd and final game.
It looks like SBC gave back the lead that they had earlier in the match. So now it's anyone's game, anyone's match on the scratch pair.
Yes, and we talked about the fact that both teams, they are here for a reason. SBC, they stand on strictly business. Trainwreck knows how to hang in there, and they've been finding ways to win. They've been showing up when it matters most. You don't always have to knock out your opponent. A lot of times, you just gotta make it, and they've been good at making it.
All you have to do is limit your mistakes in terms of splits. Keep, like in boxing, you have to keep going to the body and the head to fall. Here in bowling, you want to make sure that you capitalize on your opponent's mistakes.
Yeah.
If they miss the 10 pin, if they miss the 7 pin, if they throw a split, you have to come back with a strike. You have to reset the tone.
You know, the energy in here is intense. SBC, they bought the whole family. It's a family reunion, and they're introducing us to all of their crew.
I stand corrected. SBC is up 2-0 on the scratch pair. They're annihilating Trainwreck on the scratch pair. Oh my goodness! Somebody need to call the cops. I think Trainwreck they laying down here on that scratch pair alone.
Well, great segue. You say call a cop, asking ye shall receive. Dan Kopp about to go up on lane number 13. Let's see if 13 is going to be good luck for Dan Coppola.
And he throws a strike there. I'll tell you one thing, Dan and Daquan is going to have to, what's his name? Is it Daquan?
Yeah, Daquan Tyler, and we got Anthony Winston Jr. up right now.
Let's see if Mr. Anthony Winston can throw a strike. The more strikes they're thrown, the more likely you're going to win. Mr. Winston threw that ball without any authority and got a split.
6, 7, 10.
Yeah, that's not how you want to start this match off. It's the third and final game. Momentum can change at any point. Right now, it looks like SBC is up in totals all around, but you want to make sure that you...
And we got a foul on the first ball.
Oh, that's not good. Oh, looks like they took time out. They took time out and put a new bowler in. Did you see that for Trainwreck?
And we have, who do we have over here? Let's find out. What is the sub that we have? Who is the sub that we have here?
Keith Mentone, Stallion.
All right, so we have Keith Mentone.
Keith Mentone for Tom. Tom couldn't hit a barn today, unfortunately. Tom is the former U.S. Yeah, Tom was just off. He couldn't hit a barn. And on Mr. Stallion's first ball, he actually fouled. So that's who he comes back with. And he leaves a 9. He got 9 on the first ball. They're actually matching what happened to Mr. Winston. So Mr. Winston can actually relax a little bit. But both bowlers are going to have to bowl better than this if they plan on winning.
You know, and we don't talk about egos and lack thereof. And, you know, a lot of times you gotta take your ego out of it. If you feel you don't have it, it's okay to sub out. It's okay.
Right. That's right.
We saw it happen with the Royal Flush match, and it almost made a difference in them in their match against Trainwreck.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't have it. And I know it hurts your feelings, but it's not about your feelings, it's about the team. Yeah,
you know, it almost made a difference for Royal Flush against Trainwreck, but Trainwreck got through that. Trainwreck is good at getting through situations. They've been known to walk through storms and finding a way. SBC has been known to handle business. It can go either way. Malachi says a potential 28-12. I say potential 24-16. I don't know which way it's going to go. All I know it's going to go all the way until the lights turn off.
And Mr. Tyler just throw another strike. Had a messenger coming in.
Yeah, looking like a little James Brown slide with that head pin.
He looked like a grown man, don't he?
Yeah.
Young fella, only 21.
All right. Let's see
Mr. Coppola, let's see what he does. He's got somebody dancing with the 7-pin.
Yeah, you know, that 7-pin did a little two-step, but it's still dancing, but it's not dancing and it's not going down. Let Anthony Winston Jr., let's see what he's going to do.
He has to come back because he had a split the first time he threw the ball. And I think it was only because he didn't have enough speed on the ball. Now he come back and throw a strike. That's a good comeback. It's going to go down to the wire. That's the reason why they took timeout, unfortunately. Tom is on timeout.
Shout out to Tom Penner, my uncle. We're definitely glad we got a chance to see him, former world champion.
Yes, he was.
And you know what? Some days it's not your day. Unfortunately, this must not have been his day, but I'm pretty sure we will see him another day.
And Mr. Kenneth Lowe actually leads a 7-10 split. He didn't throw that ball any action at all on it. He left the 7-10 split.
Well, I was mentioning this before when I was commentating the Thomason match. When you're on the lane as your righty, when there's no ball return, you have a tendency to drift inside and drift a little more in the oil, and you get that little skate, and you get that little late reaction that can actually end up in a deflection. And we saw that there.
I just think he missed his mark. His ball went deep into the pocket, and that's how you leave the 7-10 split, unfortunately. Now he has to lead at 1, and he got none. Every pin counts.
Yeah, all that area searching when you're in play and you know you need all pins.
You need pins.
Eric Nilsson right there, not looking comfortable at all.
Well, you know what? As a team, maybe he was being negatively affected by Tom in the previous game, but he can't say that right now because the new guy, Mr. Stallone, whatever he calls himself.
The Stallion.
Stallion.
Yes.
Oh. They need to make sure that they pick up their spares no matter what.
Yeah. And right now, Nilsson up. Nilsson going for it. And all over that 6-pin was Eric Nilsson.
At this point in juncture in the match, if I was Mr. Daquan Tyler, I'd make sure that he at least try to get a turkey here to keep his team in the match. You never want to fall down on your team. You have to pick up your teammates one by one, frame by frame.
This is true. This is very true. You got to be able to lean on somebody when you're not strong.
Oh my goodness, you are so corny.
Hey, you know what? Add heat to the corn, you might make it pop. Let's see if Dan Kopp can get it to pop here. He needs to pop off. Strikes, and more strikes. He needs to finish the dance, and he wants to dance with 280. He has potential 280 out the door, provided that he goes sheet. Daquan flirting with 300. He's starting out strong, and we know that he knows how to finish a game.
That's one thing about young people. They can maintain their energy the whole time. And he throws another strike. He is a true leader on SBC. 21-year-old established his name just like Carson Lukosius is today. Everybody seems to be doing their part. Let's see if we can finish the match.
Throwing like a young OG.
Yeah, well, yeah. He looks like one, too.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, at least 30. Let's see. Right now, at the Stallion himself, Keith is up.
Ring and 10 pin.
Better ball.
Ring and 10 pin. Well, he got a strike the last time, so I believe that he definitely knows what he's doing. He just has to finish the shot.
Yeah, he's coming in blind. Remember, he wasn't a part of the practice session.
Yes, he didn't work. Yes, you're right. And Mr. Winston get a ring and 10 pin.
Yeah. And you know, one thing about coming in cold and coming in blind, or whatever analogy you want to use, it's different. You may have been watching, you may see something, or you could be coming in not knowing what the approaches feel like, which is why he fouled on that first shot.
Yes, that's true.
Only saving grace is that he opened 9 and his opponent 9 open.
The thing that I like about him is he didn't allow that to bother him. The one thing you can't do, sometimes when you foul, that means you're moving too fast to the line.
Yeah.
You might have to cut your steps and then still come through. And he just missed that. He just missed the 10 pin.
And right there,
Let's see if Ant-Man can pick his spare up. And he does.
Yeah, I think that missed spear was able to help him relax on his. And by him, I mean Anthony Winston Jr.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The one thing you don't want to do as a sub to come in and make simple mistakes. Because now, once again, it affects people behind you.
It does.
And what they can do is actually allow SBC to actually get on the roll. Let's see if Mr. Lowe does with this ball here. If he throws a strike here, this could set... He can set things in motion where they can run away with this.
Yeah, a little roundhouse kick as that pin kicks out the 10 pin. Kicks it out late, but better late than never.
I still say Mr. Daquan Tyler is setting the tone for this team.
He's been a tone setter for the last 2 matches that we've called on any pair that he's on, and he's been an effective part and a major piece when it comes to the scratch pair of SBC.
You're right, sir. You're right. Now, I'm going to say this here. Looking at what your other pairs are doing, you see what your scratch pair is doing. That can actually potentially change the focus. It'll make you either make you relax and say, hey, we have nothing to lose, or you end up being upset because your team is not making strikes. You start getting tighter and tighter. And Daquan Tyler throws another strike. He is having fun. Look at him.
You sure this is not game 1? It's looking like game 1.
It looks like game 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's looking like that.
Man,
He's barely breaking any sweat.
Somebody better call the cops because something's going on here. Well, that's a response from the crowd there.
Let the choir sing.
The pressure is the pressure is mounting. What Trainwreck has to do is they have to act like they've been here before, remain focused, just take shot by one at a time. It's the third game, so whatever you can do, you got to do. I believe they're down by at least over 200 on the scratch pair. The pressure, people start grabbing the ball more and more and more, and it hurts the team. Because one bowler is trying to get it all back instead of just one shot at a time.
And, you know, in that shot, unfortunately,
Daniel Kapala.
Yeah, Mr. Kopp right here, Dan Kopp. Unfortunate 9-pin lead. The pin just skated past it. It waved hello, but it didn't dap him up.
It didn't dap him up. No, it didn't. And at this point, I think everybody's trying to make perfect shots. Just let the ball roll. Whatever you get, that's what you get. Mr. Kenneth Lowe comes back with a double. This could get real ugly on the scratch pair. I would never want to be beaten on the scratch pair by 300 or more. That looks like what's happening if SBC keeps doing what they're doing right now. They're already up over 50 points sticks at the moment. Well, not quite. I'm sorry. Let me back up. If they have two more bowlers that has to bowl. Yeah.
All right. Keith up, the Stallion up. And you know what? A win is a win, and a strike is a strike, and that is okay. Sometimes, if you ain't got nothing in your right pocket, you search in your left.
Well, let's put it this way. As Trainwreck needs to start doing something quickly, they need to cause a train wreck if they can. They need to cause an explosion on the line. They need to get their crowd involved, blow that horn, do whatever they got to do to distract SBC, because SBC is locked in. Remember, we talked about yesterday, it's all about your focus. If you can disrupt a team's focus, oh my goodness.
Now, let me tell you why I like the shot.
Why you like the shot, sir?
Let me tell you why. Because he got early reads, he was getting outside early, and he kept on going through the face.
Okay.
He knows he has hand, he knows he's not going to go faster. He moved in the oil, he rolled in the oil. He may have not gotten that kick out on the 9-pin, but he has an area now where he can control his own fate.
Okay, all I'm going to say is this. He still has not thrown too many strikes in this game, period. So what I'm looking for is he needs to get a clue right now, phone a friend, do something. He cannot keep throwing spares.
And that is a very good point. At least he navigated the pocket. So at least now he has something to set his GPS based on. Let's see if he can set the train to a ride to a hopeful victory.
Yes.
I mean, there's always potential.
They at least want one win on the scratch pair.
Well, you need a win.
You don't want to get swept. That's all I'm going to say.
You don't want to catch a brick.
You don't want to catch none of that.
There goes the young bull himself, Mr. Daquan Tyler.
That's what he does. Look at him.
Muscle in that piece.
He got his Scooby-Doo pants on. Oh, my bad. That's not it.
Oh, no. But you know what? That means he has a clue.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He's bowling outstanding today. This is the last and final game. You want to make that your best game. You want to leave that on the minds of anybody that want to bowl against your team going into next year. Okay, Mr. Dan Cobb. That's right. He's striking on that line. He's striking on that lane, but he's not doing anything on 14. You want to be able to finish strong no matter what.
Hey, dub up.
All right, Mr. Anthony Winston doubles up. This is big for SBC, because if they start triples in the next frame, now they start pulling away from Trainwreck. The match is not over, but Trainwreck need to put a whole lot of strikes together. Let's see what Stallion does. All right, he throws the strike.
Yeah, that's right.
So that answers your question that you mentioned earlier with your comment. You said that you liked his last ball, because you said that he's in his wheelhouse.
Well, yes. And, let's see if Nelson stays in the wheelhouse. He left an unfortunate 9-pin leave on a good shot. And you know what? About what happened with Kenny Lowe. He's also deep in that area too, but he gets the ball out early.
He got out early. Yes, exactly.
Sharp cut, but it could cut deep in terms of
it came up early on the hairpin, which is not what he wanted.
Exactly, manipulating the oil, keeping playable shots. If you know you can't manipulate the back ends from the right, sometimes you got to move left.
That's right. You don't have to be a hero. Just need to keep the ball in play and let your team win. Nobody say you got to do it all by yourself. Just play smart ball.
Friends.
Exactly. How many of us have them?
Oh, there was a friend there on that pair, but we'll talk about that. And, shout out to kicking out pins and tripping out things and getting strikes when you need them.
Right now, if it wasn't for the scratch pair for SBC, this would be an even closer match.
I have to definitely agree with that. I concur. A whole lot of muscle there.
Look, muscle, whatever you want to call it. That young fella, Daquan Tyler, is becoming a household name here.
I'm telling you. And let me tell you something. He keep muscling like that and carrying like that. We got some cups we may need him to give a sample in, man. He may have to pee in a cup. May have to test something out. That boy juiced up. He juiced up.
I'll leave that to you, sir. I don't test nobody pee.
Well, let's see if he can test the waters and get a strike.
Daniel didn't match the energy. I told you that he's misses on that side. He if you notice, what he did was he threw the ball out to the right.
Oh man, yeah, he definitely did. And hopefully they get things together on scratch. And we're gonna take a walk over here to the middle pair.
Tiffany Bell's leading off for SBC on that pair.
Right.
She throws the lead off with a strike.
Yes. There goes that last name again, Bell. And over here on handicap pair number 1, representing Trainwreck, we have Eduardo Pinzon. We have Thomas Scrifignano. And we have the former Northeast heavyweight champion, Will E. Harris. Who do we have for SBC?
And for SBC, we have the illustrious Miss Tiffany Bell, along with Chris Johnson and Marcus Bell. It's 4-0 SBC over here. What's the name? Trainwreck is up 2-4 on the second team handicap. Don't know.
All right, and passing it up to Gordon Pepper.
Quick update, WCS, it is all over, nothing but North. North sweeps everything.
In the end, nothing but North?
Nothing but North. Edmond are not winning everything this evening. Back to you.
Shout out to the South. We still love y'all, but we the North. But that's neither here nor there. We are back here, and we're looking at handicap pair number 1. For those who are just joining us, Sean Knight Facing, voice of choice, UBA all day, joined by Man, Myth, Brain, Malachi Moore.
The Brain.
That's right. V. Make sure I put some respect on that.
I hear you, sir.
And I respect these two teams here, Strictly Business Cartel, as well as Trainwreck. They made it here. Finals right here. Kamar Wilder Cup. They're going for it all. This is the last match. This is the match. This is for it all.
This is last game of the match. So right now, Chris Johnson just picked up Hall of Famer for UBA.
Yep.
He just picked up the 7-pin, which for anybody that's not an easy pin to pick up if you're left-handed, just like the 10-pin for the right-handers. Now, this is going to be interesting. Yesterday, Marcus Bell did not play well in the first round of the playoffs yesterday. Now, in the yesterday evening, he played very well, but that was further up on the higher end of the house. Now he's on the lower end. Last game, he bowled a 230-something, which is nice, but they need to win. They need to win one game at least. And so it's not a tie.
And shout out to that. And his high was 258 yesterday. You know, he definitely did put up a number.
That was his last game as well.
No, exactly. So Bell was doing, what Bell does. But right now, what does not need to happen for Trainwreck is shots like that from Will Harris. And after a shot like that, he may be feeling like the namesake on the back of his jersey.
Yes. Mr. William Harris, he needs to pick that up in order to keep his team in the match because they already have it open from the leadoff man. and Marcus Bell leaves a 9 count. He didn't seem to throw that too good. He seemed like either his energy level is down, but he needs to pick that up. That's easier than what Mr. William Harris has to do.
Yeah, Bell didn't
picks it
throw
up.
well. Bell did not throw it well, and that was a merciful pickup by Will Harris. The way he attacked that spear, normally it wouldn't have picked up like that. Shout out to Daquan Tyler over here stepping in the camera view.
7 in a row.
Yeah, you know what? You know you're bowling big when you on two screens and 2 different pairs.
That young man is fantastic.
Yes, he is.
He's bowling. I think he's working. He should be working on an 800, if I'm not mistaken.
Again,
he missed it yesterday.
He just missed it, but he's still working on it.
Yes, he is.
But you know what we're working on? We're gonna work on to see if Mr. Bell can pick up his spare. High probability of pickup here,
And he does.
And he does.
And we're going to have Tiffany Bell start off on the first team handicap for SBC again. She's on lane 15. Let's see what she does.
Miss TB on your TV.
And she throws a strike. Look at her. She's waving to the crowd.
Oh, yes.
Blowing kisses.
Blowing kisses. That's only a queen would.
Yes. She's the queen of SBC.
How majestic and benevolent of her.
Bless her heart.
Bless her heart. She loves her public.
Yes, she does.
Let's see if Mr. Eddie Pins himself pins on. Let's see if he cannot pins off the deck.
He needs to get a strike here to keep his in because he had a split in the first frame. Okay, and he does. He's back on track. He seems like he's focused. He just maybe missed his mark that last frame.
You know what? They say if the train falls off the track, pick it up, pick it up,
pick it up,
bring it back. And let's see if they're going to have to bring it back and run it back next season, or if they're going to give SBC a reason to maybe think and blink.
Mr. Chris Johnson, he did an 8 count, but he could have easily had a split. He threw that ball very slow, and he looked like he was tired. He better get a clue and get some and Gatorade or something.
Oh, man.
He got a few more frames. He got his team to win the championship.
Yeah, he left the peace sign on the left side. Gordon Pepper, what do you think?
Unofficially, it's 6-6. SBC's got the wood by 174. However, as you see over here on the scratch, Trainwreck has already cut more than half of it down. So yeah, SBC's celebrating. They need to be real careful. Trainwreck may be getting right back into this one.
Hold on, what's the total?
Magic number is 174. That's what Trainwreck's got to make up the wood by.
So basically, it's coming down to the wire.
So
down to the wood.
SBC is up by 174. Okay, it's anybody's match, but this is the third game. So it's just like.
Right now, if you're looking, Trainwreck is already up by over 100.
No, that's not Trainwreck. That's SBC.
Oh, I'm sorry, never mind. SBC is looking to finish this one.
It's okay. Let's take Quan on 300 game.
Well, I was going to say, if he gets a 300 game, this one is close to being over because SBC already up by 174 and change. Now, if there's added another 120 to that, that's going to be 300. That's night-night.
As long as their other two pairs don't fall off completely, at least one of them win, this is a wrap.
And if you hear noise in the background, that sounds like a whole bunch of track stars in the form of SBC doing, well, it sounded like victory laps.
Well, not yet. I would never say that because anything can happen, but I'm not counting on them to have a fall down on the job. That's your stallion guy. The stallion guy, he messed up again.
Well, you know what? They tried to put a horse in. Unfortunately, the horse did not get a chance to get this footing right, literally and figuratively.
What did no offense, but what did that guy throw on the second team handicap? What was his end score, sir?
Oh man, a second team handicap?
Yeah, you know what it was. What was it, sir? Give me my $5.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. My 5, sir.
I got you later.
I know. No, you don't have to pay it, though. No, you my boy. No, I don't drink, but you my boy.
That water's delicious.
Whatever. That good H2O.
Oh yeah. And you know what? I know
Sorry, Jay.
drinking water and regrouping is going to be in the future for Trainwreck. by the way this is looking.
Man.
I want to give a special shout out to Trainwreck for getting to this point.
That's true.
Nothing was given. Every single thing was earned for this team. They did their thing. They fell off the track, unfortunately, here, but they made it to the end of the road. But the road that is paved by Strictly Business Cartel will lead to the Kamar Wilder Cup of 2024 and Battle Bowl.
And I can't let it go.
From our Don singer, Josh Valdez.
We got Wanye Valdez over here.
Emotional. You belong to me.
Yeah, this is emotional
I
win
belong
for
to
SBC.
you.
But can we get back to the match, please? Be quiet.
And let's focus on front nine potentially. And we got front nine. We got front nine for Daquan Tyler, the young bull himself of Strictly Business Cartel. Gordon Pepper, what do you have to say about this young, scrapping dude over here? The future of the game, one of the young bulls, Daquan Tyler.
It could be the future of the game. The question is, should I be hanging out in the 10th frame?
Well, we got you hanging out. And you know what? I'm going to say this. Not even the Dark Cloud himself can stop him from striking. Not even the Dark Cloud. What do you think, Malachi? I say not even the Dark Cloud can stop Daquan's potential 300.
Daquan will stop Daquan if he do. But he got a backup man, Anthony Winston, who came to bowl too. When you got a man that's doing all that and they walking on the other team's lane and they throwing splits, they brought a new man. The sub is actually at home, my goodness. Somebody call the count. The sub can't even go right. Normally that doesn't work anyway, but you know, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, it almost went right yesterday, but almost is only good in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yeah, that's right. They up by 150 almost. If he don't pick this up, somebody better call the cops, because they get robbed. Oh my goodness, Mr. Kenneth Lowe. What is wrong with Kenneth Lowe today?
It's a team effort. You got to pick everybody up, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's true.
Gordon Pepper, I gotta say one thing about this. No matter what the outcome, we have had the pleasure of witnessing an amazing set of matches here at Battle Bowl 2024. You know, watching SBC and Trainwreck, seeing the energy unmatched here, pioneering bowling like this since '09. Gordon, it's got to make you feel great to witness and feel this atmosphere.
Oh, what's great about this? Anybody, that is anybody, can go in and win. All you got to do is make the playoffs. SBC did not come in winning their district. They lost 36-4 to high-powered, limping into the tournament, turned around, picked it up, and here they are.
Wow, now sometimes it can be just about, sometimes, Gordon, it can be about availability, who you put out there to bowl. Well, in the playoffs, you know you're going to put your best nine out there, period.
You would hope you would put your best nine.
Yes, you hope to be able to. That's true.
So we've seen that people not put out the best nine and pay for it. But this is SBC's A-plus lineup. Trainwreck, fantastic lineup also. SBC figured it out.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's not going to help.
No, this is a Trainwreck the other way.
Well, you know what? Gordon mentioned them limping into here. Apparently, whatever wounds they had definitely healed. And obviously, it must be a metal piece in whatever leg they hurt because they showed up and they showed out.
All right, Daquan's going to be up here. He's got 9 in a row. I'm going to stay here. I am not going to go down there. So maybe Dark Cloud will be safe over here. Maybe they'll
Oh,
not
no,
pay
get
300.
Gordon off the mic. Gordon is the kiss of death.
No, you know what?
No, we want to see
believe.
We want.
I believe.
No, listen to me. We want Daquan to throw a 300.
You know what? I said what I said. Even the Dark Cloud can't stop him. Even the Dark Cloud can't stop him.
I don't know. He in the 10th frame, baby. In the 10th frame.
Through the fire, to the limit, to the wall.
Oh, my goodness. This boy cannot sing.
Oh, says who? I got a couple girls that'll call you and tell you different.
Oh, Lord help.
But you know what? But I'll tell you this.
I can't hear you. My ears are broken.
And that's because SBC was standing on strictly business.
Look, we want to see Daquan throw a 300 at this point. SBC has pretty much, as far as I'm concerned.
Strictly Business is a different team. We're talking Straight Business Cartel, sir.
Say that one more time, Gordon.
It is Straight Business Cartel, not Strictly Business. That's another team.
Yeah, Strictly Business Cartel. Yeah, my bad. Now, who's business?
Well, you know what? Straight business. And
We
that's,
need one more. Look at him.
that's it.
Look at him.
11.
Now he
at
got
11.
I'm staying here. I'm not going down there.
I don't blame you. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think he just goes up and throw the ball like he normally does? Or do you think he's going to think about it?
You know what? What's there to think about? You are playing with house money at this point. I think he should just turn his back on it.
Nah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
That young boy can do whatever he wants.
You're guaranteed not to get the strike.
Malachi looking to get a better look.
Yeah, because that cameraman stood up over top of him.
But that's all right.
He stood right in my vision.
I know. Every time you stood where you stood, he struck. Let's see what happens here.
There you go. Oh! He got the 3 on it. Oh, my goodness. That's the exclamation point. That's the exclamation point right there. That's how you do that. That's for the chip, baby.
Daquan Tyler.
That's for the chip.
Daquan Tyler. Daquan Tyler.
Oh, my goodness.
Yo.
He put on a show.
If you watch any kind of sport, whether it's making that last run to the end zone, it's like a buzzer beater right there. The very last shot in your championship win.
He has led his team all through the playoffs. To me, he's the MVP of his team this playoff run.
Hey, if you're going to demolish a house, a lot of times you got to strap the bomb, and he just threw that bomb. He threw what they call that tray bomb. Game 3, Daquan Tyler.
Way to end the playoff. Way to end the playoff. Way to end the playoffs. That young fella carried his team. But the match is not over yet. He might have threw a 300, but the match is not over yet. They still, oh my goodness. And the sub just whiffed on that, and he goes out with a 147.
You know what?
Oh my goodness, it's a shame what's about to happen here.
You know what? It is a shame, but you know what? It is not all bad. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
They in second place.
It doesn't matter whether you're on the right part of history or on the wrong part of history.
Yeah.
You were a part of history.
Yeah, you were a part of history.
And what Trainwreck did to get here, it was definitely a great thing.
Yes.
I got to give it to them.
It was an opportunity for us to witness such greatness.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be able to share this moment with you, sir.
And likewise, my brother. And you know what? At the end of this day, we can say that SBC not only can call themselves straight business, but straight like that, they are straight up champions. They are taking home the big cup.
Remember, they cartel too, sir.
That's right. They are a cartel, straight gangster. And you know what? Just like gangsters, they came into the house, took what they wanted, and they wanted that Kamar Wilder Cup, and they got the Wilder Cup.
Look, their scratch player led their team all the way.
Yes.
Trainwreck has nothing to hold their head down low at all. But once again, just like Sheik Society yesterday, Trainwreck ran into a buzzsaw.
Mm-hmm. You know, and we're going to take a little focus over here.
On the first team handicap.
Scriffignano up. Scriffignano, unfortunately, leaving a 2-pin. Chris Johnson up on lane 16. Trainwreck, I believe, will always be now in that conversation of potential contenders. They proved something here, but also straight business, straight business cartel. They came in and they showed up. They showed out.
That's right. And they're led by Mr. Daquan Tyler and Mr. McCray.
Oh, yes.
On the first team handicap. He shot an 800 yesterday.
Rajon
McCray, yes, sir.
Chris Johnson up.
And he throws a strike. Now, the thing here, you don't want to fall apart. You never know when the total count pin, how it can grow. You want to finish the match. You want to finish the match strong. You never want to leave anything to chance. Oh my goodness! They look like they feel demoralized. I'm feeling it from them. Oh boy, Marcus Bell.
What up, Josh Malik?
What's that?
Oh, Josh Malik, the 810.
Oh, that's what that is?
UBA OG.
Oh my goodness! Outstanding young fella.
Let's see, Will Harris converting his 4-pin. And over there we got the classic 8-10 right there.
Now, I'm going to say this here. Carson Lukosius has bowled good enough to me to have been on the scratch pair for her team. The second bowler, I know that Tom has been bowling, performing very well throughout the year, but I just wonder if I look back on his scores from the other 2 days, what his scores would look like. I know that Carson Lukosius was tearing her pair up, and maybe they need somebody that's as strong as she is. But sometimes you need one pair to set the tone, and I'm not talking about the second team handicap either.
As you see, the queen of the Bell dynasty right there.
Yes, Miss Tiffany Bell.
That's right.
Let's see if Mr. Eddie Pins what he can do.
Mr. Pinzone, let's see.
He got a strike there. He got some help there.
There it is. And you know, you got to give respect. You know, they're still throwing punches. I mean, it's
Mr. Chris Johnson doubles up on that pair for SBC. They're picking up Mr. Marcus Bell, who threw a split this last game, his last frame. Let's see if he can get back on track here.
Yeah.
No matter what, SBC has won the match already with total pins. At this point, it's a matter of what the final score is.
Well, it's all about, at least, even though knowing you're losing a fight, you're still trying to at least leave your opponent with some scars to remember you by. They may not be big scars, but at least a little bit of a memorabilia. You might want to snatch a piece of hair or something just to let them know, hey, I was in the ring with you.
Man, I'm trying to give him the toe jam. That's what I'm trying to give him.
Not the pinky toe. Now you want to shoot him in the pinky toe.
I'm giving the toe jam. I want them to remember my name. Marcus Bell made the adjustment on lane 15. Let's see if he can go out with strikes here on 16.
Let's see. We are still
it's
here.
Getting hotter and hotter in here.
And SBC does not plan on turning on the AC.
That's
they
right.
want to turn up. They want to keep that fire up.
Until this match is over.
They're keeping that fire up.
That's right. I wouldn't cut them no slack. None at all.
Yep. No givesies, backsies.
Nope.
And we're going to see what's going on with Eddie Pins. Eddie Pinzone is up.
Eddie Pins is keeping his team in like a leadoff man should do.
Yeah, EDP.
You want to save some kind of face. He needs to get a turkey here. And he throws a strike there. He's keeping his team in the match with his turkey. But let's see if Tiffany Bell can double up here. Looks like it's pretty good here. Ooh, nine count.
That ball comes in very sharp, leaving the 4-pin high on the head. And I see Tiffany Bell should definitely have no problem converting this 4-pin. We have Skrifignano, Thomas Skrifignano up on lane 15.
It's not over.
Thomas Skriff up. There you go. And tripping out the 4. Contrary to Tiffany Bell leaving her 4. Tiffany going up.
Yeah.
No.
As far as the cameraman.
And you know right now,
let's see if Chris Johnson can double get a turkey here.
Yeah. SBC celebration.
A little premature.
A little premature, but I think they're already making dinner plans. Let's see if that's a bad thing. And it's not looking like such a bad thing when shots are being thrown like that by William Harris, who has nothing to be ashamed of. He's been a champion. He almost could have been a champion today with the entire team. Let's see if Chris Johnson makes him pay for that 8 count.
Chris Johnson, the Hall of Famer of UBA.
All over that spare was Skrifignano. Chris Johnson, the lefty, going for a spear on the right side. Should be no problem.
This is just a matter of everybody waiting to be able to celebrate at this point.
Yeah.
The scratch pair, oh my goodness, they won about almost, let me see.
Oh, geez.
Almost 400 pins?
Yes, it's looking
They
like
almost
that.
won by 4. Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
It don't matter. This match is over.
Yeah, that was 21-08 to 17-19. That
You can't win
impressive
nothing.
to say the
You
least.
can't win nothing with a 496 on the scratch pair.
Straight business.
Cartel.
Remember. Going up. Miss
Tiffany Bell.
Mrs. Tiffany Bell.
She leaves that ring
kicking
in
out the
10 pin.
and no,
it wasn't moving. Not enough messenger. She's a pro. All she got to do is spare out, and this match is over. It doesn't even matter. When your one pair wins by 400, the other two pairs can't possibly come back with that.
And you know, whenever it's a party, there's nothing better than the let up. And I think they're already making plans to do some parking lot partying.
Okay, let's look at here. Looks like Trainwreck took their pair 10-0. Oh, I meant to tell you.
Yes.
You owe me $5.
Oh yeah. And for the viewers, I'm gonna sign it too. But you know what? Speaking of sign still delivered was an outstanding performance by Straight Business Cartel.
Man, this was a massacre. You could see it boiling yesterday against Secret Society. They come in here setting train wrecks on their own now. That's what Daquan went off. He had a 211 the second game, so he had a 746 series. He led his team on the scratch pair. Let's look here. Only person that bowled better than him was Carson Lacocious. She went out with a 754. I don't think anybody else was up where their level already today. Today it was not an easy shot, but when you work as a team, anything can happen.
Yeah, honorable mentions definitely. 746 for Daquan Tyler, 754 for
Last game he
Carson.
throws a 300.
And indeed, let's not forget the last game for the chip, Trey Bomb, Daquan Tyler.
Now, on the second team hand, just for total purposes, SBC on the scratch pair almost won by 400. Trainwreck won 10-0, but they only won by 69 sticks. That was a close match all the way through on that pair. There's no way SBC is going to fall down and give up. I don't care. They can take zeros and still win the match. Yeah, at this point.
You know, not for nothing, you know, it is what it is. That's a deep hole.
They are deep. And now for the last 2 years, there's been a different champion. Last year it was G-Town.
SmackDown.
There you go. And this year is going to be SBC.
Straight Business.
Cartel.
And if you don't know, now you know, bowlers.
So it lets you know if you could put together a strong team. There's some teams who have consistently been in the playoffs, like Royal Flush, Secret Society. Let me see. Some other teams who have come in this year, Murder Inc., Exit Wounds. But now the question is, who's going to be able to make the playoffs next year? What kind of movement is going to happen between team to team? That's going to be where recruitment comes into play.
Yeah.
And how do you set up your team? And do you have the right leadership in order to bring that about?
Oh, and as we watch Pin Zone trip out that 4-pin, or are you going to be similar to Release the Krakens, one of the new franchises that came and was shaking things up, not only on the Long Island side, but even in their first ever appearance in the early stages of the playoffs? You know, and are you going to be like any other new team that could be in any other region? You know, we got them from New York all the way to Texas, you know?
And one of the things I want to say about SBC is that I don't believe they have any pros on that scratch pair. And so it lets you know if you can put together a quality team that can put their heads down and communicate effectively, just like any sport in the world, you can win anything.
Yes, you can.
And that's what this young team has done. They're very young. They don't seem to have too many what I call holes in it in their team. And when you don't have too many holes, you don't have any bickering and things of that nature, you can get things done. Anytime you can put a Marcus Bell on the first team handicap as an anchor, you're doing something really special.
Exactly.
That means you have some really, really talented people. You put Tiffany Bell on the first team handicap as well.
Indeed.
And Chris Johnson, the Hall of Famer. So it's letting you know that their team is made up of experience as well as youth. And to me, this is a team that could turn into the Garden Foundation in terms of putting together a dynasty.
Okay, I agree with that. And now let's talk about keys to success in the future for Trainwreck. What do you think needs to happen when they go back to the drawing board?
I think Trainwreck is a very good team. They need to evaluate where they need to build up at. I think that they need to move Carson Lukosius to the scratch pair and let her be the second person in. She can keep everybody focused. She's a fundamentally sound young lady. I think they need to build off of her and make her more of a primary more than a secondary. And I think that the rest of their team just need to get stronger and get bolder. They may make a couple more additions to their team, but for the most part, they're a very strong team. I expect them to come back next year in the playoffs.
You know what? And, you know, getting a little insight from the current one half of the Northeast Tag Team Champions, Mr. Miguel Carrion.
What's up, Miguel?
First of all, shout out to the victories against the North.
Watch it. Don't mess with Malachi. He'll take you to the bathroom. Hashtag bathroom tour.
SBC Cartel, what do you have to say about them?
What did you see about this team?
Oh, no, I didn't watch the time.
Oh, my goodness.
Even though you didn't watch the match, you see what happened across the board.
They won already?
Yes.
It's over. They scratch pair almost won by 400.
Yeah. Straight Business Cartel, handling straight business. Being a champion yourself and being a part of any kind of UBA franchise. Exactly. What would you do to rebuild and come back in your next season knowing you got this far?
Yeah, seeing with the talent that they have to go up against. Now, you know, you on Latino All-Stars, correct?
Yeah.
What would you have to do in order to match the firepower of this team?
It ain't really matching the firepower. A lot of teams are stacked, but if you have the good vibe, the good crowd behind you, you could hype up your team to do better. You know, you got bowlers who's 215 who could shoot just as good. And sometimes it's just the house. Some teams can hit the house, some teams can't. Looking at the heavyweight. He's supposed to be the best, but he was struggling.
Yeah, but he came back and won.
I know he came back and won, but you know he was struggling. And the guy opened to give him the chance to win too.
Now I'm gonna say this here. This is where the difference is. This is Trainwreck's first time getting to the playoffs to this level. Last year, SBC was in the final 8. So this year they ramped it up. They went out and got a couple additional bowls. They got Tiffany Bell added to their lineup, and now they're actually going to win the playoffs this year. This is what I'm talking about key additions to your team. What I'm saying, your team, Latino All-Star, is a very unique team, a very good team. But I think you need some additional firepower in order to do it. But if you add them, my question is, well, not my question, but Sean Dyke's question was, what do you think your team would need in order to make it to this far?
You definitely need scratch bowlers who's consistent anywhere they go. No matter where you put them at, you go to Jersey, you go to Delaware, you need bowlers that's consistent everywhere. And not just house bowlers that, they 230. A lot of teams have 230 bowlers, but they mostly house rats or location rats, whatever you want to call them, that they only can bowl good in certain houses.
So would you say...
It's got, people... What's her name? Tiffany Bell. No matter where she goes, she's always shooting numbers.
3-time Rodman champion, a female.
You need people who's able to shoot everywhere and be consistent and who can handle this type of pressure no matter what, because there's going to be a lot of shit talking. I can have a 230 bowler bowl, but you start shit talking, he may... lose it mentally and start bowling. He may lose it mentally and start bowling bad.
Now, I'm going to say this here. What I would have done if I was on Trainwreck, I would have used my horn a whole lot more during keep. I'm serious. Because focus is about in the match. Am I not right? If your sixth man, if your man on the carpet is here and they're doing their job, I'm blowing that horn.
I feel you on that, and that's why I get a brain. And Mr. Carrion, once again, congratulations to you and Mark Texador. Congratulations to the North. We look forward to seeing you down the line.
Swept over there.
Yeah, that's what we heard too.
North had a field day today.
I'm trying to become Hall of Fame, Now I'm about to take give me 3 months, I'm going to have the Cruiserweight, the tag team, and the uncapped tag team.
Well, you got to take that from me, son.
All right.
Remember that, all right? So I'm going to be a 4-time champion. I'm a 4-time champion, right? All right, just get that in your crawl.
And you know who's the champion today?
When we see each other, it's on.
And you know who's the champion
else? It's SBC time.
That's right. Straight business who?
Cartel.
That's right. All day. Every day, UBA.
They said night-night.
Oh, man, they did tuck them in. And you know
They even
what?
brought the furry dog down
Can
here.
we change his jersey name to Bathroom Talk?
You know what? All I'm going to say is this. No matter who you are and where you are, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. And you were here, a part of Battle Bowl 2024. For those who were here to witness this, I'm Sean That Facing, voice of choice, the man, the myth, the brain, Malachi Moore. Hey, we even had all kind of awesome guests. Shout out to Gordon Pepper, shout out to Tom Twist, shout out to Tynell Tate, shout out to Jason Hill, shout out to Ray Gillespie. Shout out to even this guy over here. And shout out to Mal Williams. Shout out to all the Hall of Famers that got inducted. Shout out to even all the champions that came here to represent.
Even the
And shout out
cameraman.
to the South, because without the, you know what, without the North and the South coming together, we cannot have what we have here. You came here for Battle Bowl. Look forward to all the other events, such as Unholy Alliance, such as Mega Bowl.
Until next year.
Until next year. It has been great this year. Straight business cartel. You know what? Overpour of emotion as it should be.
Congratulations. Now we're going to have a presentation by our Commissioner Tom Twist.
That's right.
We're going to sign on.
That's right. Until next time.
This is Malachi Moore.
Sean That Face on. UBA.
All day.
I need 2 mics. All right, everybody. Firstly, let's give a really nice round of applause to Trainwreck, making it to the finals. Great job, man. Ty, thank you so much. So the first thing we're going to give out here is the UBA Commissioners Season Tour Finals. Firstly, I want to recognize Carson Lacoza. Nice 750 over there, nice bowling, Carson. But the MVP award is going to Mr. 300 over here, Mr. Dave Montgomery. And as is tradition, we all know who this title's named for. One of the reasons why we're all here, Mr. Mark Wilder, very close friends with Ty and Damon, so they're going to present the trophy to Straight Business Cartel. Congratulations, everybody. We'll get your trophy.